Love has no age. I've come to understand this truth not through stories or teachings, but through her, through the way her presence silences time itself. When I look at her, I don't see numbers or years, I see moments that feel eternal. Her laughter carries the warmth of youth, yet her eyes hold the wisdom of lifetimes. In her, I see the balance of what love truly is. Timeless, ageless, boundless. The world may measure years, but my heart measures connection. And in that measure, we are equals, two souls standing beneath the same sky, beating in the same rhythm. They say love should follow rules, that it must fit neatly into what the world accepts. But love, real love, was never meant to be confined by the limits of time or perception. I have learned that hearts do not check calendars before they fall, they simply recognize what feels like home. When I first saw her, I didn't think of the difference between us. I thought of how natural it felt to breathe near her. It was as if the universe had been waiting for this meeting, holding its breath until our eyes met, so it could exhale destiny in one sigh. She carries her years with grace, not as a weight but as a crown, and I am not afraid to stand beside her, even if the world whispers, "Let them." I would rather walk in truth with her hand in mine than live a lie that pleases them. Because love, when it's pure, doesn't need permission. It only needs courage. And she has given me that courage. She has shown me that to love someone fully is to see beyond time, beyond appearances, beyond fear. She is not older or younger, she is simply her, the woman who holds my peace, my passion, and my purpose. There are moments when she looks at me with doubt in her eyes, questioning if the years between us will one day stand like walls. But I smile, because I know what she doesn't yet realize. That love like ours doesn't age, it evolves. I will still love her when her hair turns silver, just as fiercely as I do now. I will love her laughter when it softens, her eyes when they grow tired, her hands when they tremble. Because to me, those changes are proof of time well spent together. Every line on her skin will tell the story of the days I was lucky enough to be part of. I know people will talk. They will call it unusual, they will question what they do not understand. But their words cannot wound what was built by fate. I was not sent into this life to live by their expectations. I was sent to find her. And now that I have, I will not let judgment take that from me. My love for her is not rebellion, it is reverence. I see in her not what the years have taken, but what they have given. Patience, grace, and the kind of strength that only life can teach. Those are the qualities I fell in love with. Those are the reasons I stay. When I hold her, I feel the same heartbeat that would exist if we were born in the same hour. The same energy that connects stars across galaxies connects us. Ageless, endless, divine. She makes me believe that love is not something that grows weaker with time, but something that becomes more beautiful because of it. And if the universe allows, I will keep loving her through every sunset and every lifetime that follows. Because what we have is not defined by the ticking of clocks, it is written beyond them. And so I say again, love has no age, only depth. It is not a number but a promise, not a measure of time but of soul. When I look at her, I do not see the past or the future, I see eternity, standing right in front of me. When I chose her, I didn't do it out of impulse or fascination. I chose her because my soul recognized something ancient in her. A familiar peace that felt like home. It wasn't her age that drew me in, but the quiet power she carries, the way she listens to the world with both her heart and her silence. I have met many faces, heard countless voices, but hers stayed. It lingered, even in my thoughts, even when I tried to forget. That's when I realized some loves are not born in the same season, but they bloom at the same time. People often say love is meant to make you feel young again, but she doesn't make me feel young, she makes me feel alive. There's a difference. Youth is fleeting, but being alive means feeling every heartbeat, every breath, every moment as though it matters. When she looks at me, I don't feel like I'm chasing time, I feel like time is pausing to admire us. In her eyes, I see not the years that separate us, but the courage that brought us together. She has become my favorite defiance against everything the world told me love was supposed to be. I sometimes wonder if she knows how much strength she gives me just by existing. When doubts creep into her heart, when she worries about what people might say, I want to hold her and tell her this: that love like ours does not need validation, because it was written before either of us even knew what love was. Every soul carries a map, and mine has always led me to her. The years between us are not distance. They are the path that shaped us, the lessons that made us ready for each other. In my kingdom I have seen beauty fade, riches vanish, loyalties break, but I have never seen a soul like hers. It glows with a quiet radiance that time cannot touch. That is the beauty I fell for. The kind that doesn't ask for attention, but commands it without a word. She doesn't need to be adorned, she is the adornment. And when I stand beside her, I do not feel like a prince showing off his love. I feel like a man humbled by it. There will always be those who look with judgment, who cannot understand what they haven't felt. Let them. Their opinions are bound by walls of convention, but ours is a love that walks freely under open skies. I do not need them to understand. I only need her to believe. Because love like ours doesn't need approval. It only needs truth. And I have never been more certain of anything than I am of her. If the price of loving her is whispers and stares, then so be it. I'll pay that price every day gladly. Every morning, when the first light touches my face, I think of her. The calm she brings to my chaos. The reason I face each day with purpose. She has given me a kind of peace I didn't know I was searching for. Her voice, her laughter, even her silence. They all remind me that love doesn't always arrive in the form the world expects. Sometimes, it arrives exactly as it should, wearing the grace of experience and the warmth of understanding. And when it does, you don't question it. You cherish it. If love truly has no age, then what we share is proof of eternity. Because I cannot imagine a time, in this life or the next, where I will not find her again. If I must live 100 more lives, I know that in each one, my soul will still recognize hers. Old or younger, it won't matter. What will matter is the same quiet truth that binds us now, that time cannot divide what the heart has already claimed. And so, I will keep loving her, not because she defied age, but because she redefined it. Sometimes I imagine the years ahead of us. The quiet mornings, the gentle evenings, the spaces between them filled with laughter and warmth. I imagine her hair touched with silver, her smile still carrying that same spark that first disarmed me. The world around us will change, seasons will come and go, but the rhythm of our hearts will remain the same. I will still reach for her hand the way I do now, still look at her as though she's a miracle I'm witnessing for the first time. Because for me, love isn't about how long it lasts, but how deeply it lives within each passing day. There will be times when the world outside forgets about us, when the noise fades, the lights dim, and all that's left is the quiet sound of her breathing beside me. In that silence, I'll be reminded that love was never meant to shout. It was meant to stay. She will be my calm after every storm, my answer after every question. And as the years fold softly into one another, I'll watch her with the same awe I felt the first time our souls met. Because love like ours doesn't age. It ripens, it deepens, it becomes something the world cannot define. And one day, when we are old and the days grow slower, I will look back at our journey and smile at how we proved everyone wrong. How we showed that love isn't measured by time, but by truth. I will thank her for choosing me, for teaching me that love's beauty lies not in perfection, but in perseverance. And as the sun sets on all that we've built, I'll whisper one last time what I've always known to be true. That age was never the boundary of our love. It was the canvas that made it eternal. When I first spoke those words, love has no age, I wasn't trying to challenge the world. I was simply speaking a truth that my heart already knew. For too long, I let others define what love should look like, how it should feel, and when it should be allowed to exist. But then she came into my life, not as an answer, but as a question that changed everything. She made me see that love doesn't ask for permission. It simply happens, quietly and powerfully, as if written in the stars before either of us were born. Each day with her feels like a chapter from a story written outside of time. When I'm near her, I don't think of the years that separate us. I think of the way her soul speaks to mine. Her wisdom steadies me, her gentleness humbles me, and her laughter reminds me that joy isn't bound by age, it's bound by connection. The world may see numbers, I see meaning. And if the cost of loving her is to face questions I cannot answer, then I will still choose her. Again and again, in every lifetime that dares to test us, she has taught me more about love than any book, teacher, or tradition ever could. Her experiences have shaped her into someone whose heart knows both the beauty and the pain of living. When she looks at me, it's as if she can see through every layer of pride I wear, straight into the core of who I am, and she doesn't love me for the title I carry, or the youth that others see. She loves me for the man beneath it all. That is the kind of love people spend lifetimes searching for. I know the whispers exist. I've heard them echo in corridors, in conversations that stop when I walk by. But I have learned not to let noise define truth. The love I share with her doesn't need validation from those who have never felt it. What we have is ours, unshaken, unbothered, and pure. There is a peace in loving someone who understands your silence, who doesn't measure your worth by your age, but by your soul. She gives me that peace, and in return I give her my loyalty, my heart, and my promise to always stand by her. Sometimes I watch her when she doesn't notice, when she's lost in thought, or when the sunlight touches her face. There's a quiet grace about her that words can't capture. Every expression tells a story, every glance feels like a blessing, and in those moments, I realize how foolish it would be to let something as fragile as public opinion decide something as eternal as love. The heart knows what it wants. Time merely watches in awe. If I could speak to those who question us, I would tell them this love is not about matching ages, but matching souls. It's not about when you meet, but why you meet. The years between us are not barriers. They are bridges that led us to each other. She came into my life when I was still learning how to be human beneath the crown, and she reminded me that even a prince needs to be loved not for what he represents, but for who he truly is. And so, when I say love has no age, it is not merely a statement. It is a testament. A promise that I will continue to honor what we share, no matter how the world chooses to see it. Because our story isn't written in calendars or measured by years, it's carved into the space between our hearts, eternal, untamed, and beautifully ours. And in that timeless love, I have finally found the meaning of forever,